Hello! Slightly shorter than usual, starting soon screen because I'm also slightly later than usual starting in general. Um, yeah, I made my decision. We're doing Warriors All Stars. I hate this game, but I also need to be done with it, within less than 2 months. So, yeah. If not for that, though, I would absolutely play something very different, probably Castlevania, because I've over this weekend, since the last stream, I've had like a huge itch to play more Castlevania games. Um, but I maybe later this week, maybe the later streams for this week I may, but I think for today, I want to make more progress on Warriors All Stars. I did do a bit of off-stream grinding for specifically for the dramatic battles and ending battles, um, to get closer to getting that one achievement. Not a ton of regard grinding though. I got very little of that, unfortunately. Um, I don't think this will happen, but I went through enough that I believe I only have one, maybe two more missing battles that I didn't already complete, and I'm fairly certain I know what they are, or at least like the routes they're in. So my goal is hopefully today I can get done with that. If not, though, I may end up actually doing some grinding, some extra grinding off stream because I want to next Warriors All Stars stream, whether it's tomorrow, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, whenever it is. I don't know if it'll be the very next stream. I may do Castlevania then, but the next stream that I play Warriors All Stars, whenever that is, I want to be fully done with with the last achievement. So my goal is hopefully this stream we get it. If not though, then we should either get it next stream or I may even get it off stream because we still have like at least 100 hours of regard grinding left to go, and wow, this detour is taking away grinding time for that. As much as I hate both of these grinds, I think I would prefer to do the regard grind as opposed to the ending grind or battle grind, because at least with the regard grind that I there's an end point that I know the exact point of, and that was the main goal we started with to begin with. Um, the battle grind is literally just for one achievement, and it's one achievement that I don't even know which battle I have left to do. So, but yeah, gonna go ahead, start the game now. Um, see, gotta make sure it actually shows up well on stream. Okay, good, it is. Yeah, as I mentioned, I did a bit of grinding yesterday, and this time what we are going to do, we're going with a different route. Last time we went with Shiki's route because he had two question mark endings on it, question mark battles on his. I'm fairly certain those are the ones we're missing. However, I'm not 100% sure because, well, okay, I can't see them right now, but dramatic battles are always questioned out, even if I have done them, so I don't even know for certain, but I'm fairly certain this is, if not the last one we have in total, at least the last one of Setsuna's route. Um, so hopefully we'll get that done, and then maybe that will be the end of the achievement grind. If not though, then well, we'll have a bit more to go, but at least we'll make progress. So yeah, for this I need to clear the Bonds of Friendship battle, which means I have to do all of these, which is, I mean, it's not hard, but it's gonna take a minute. to become friends with Kasumi. Okay, I had to become friends with Kasumi or Grena, do Untold Intentions, and then clear either Judgment Time or Benevolent Princess. So that shouldn't be too hard, it's just a matter of actually getting it done. And while we're at this, I am also going to be doing a tiny bit of regard grinding for Rio as well, since she's a Setsuna route character. Not a ton of regard grinding for her, but at least a little bit we'll get out of the way. It's actually been quite a while since I've played as Rio, so I don't actually have a full rotation for her memorized exactly. I just know that her C4, this attack, the card spin, is a pretty great attack for crowd clearing. That's really the most that I remember about her kit from my first playthrough as far as regular rotations go. Sorry, had to hydrate really quickly, and I did not mean to press that button. Oh wow. It doesn't mean that my hero skills will be recharged slightly. So I do actually need to get back into the rotation of using that regularly. Never mind, it was a bit of a good thing in disguise, I suppose. So my original plan for this game was, of course, to either finish it or pause it, depending on whether we were at the end or not. Pause completion temporarily once Utawara Ramona Zan released, which was supposed to release originally a few days ago, but obviously it got delayed until December, I believe, I want to say December like 16th or something, somewhere around then. And so we're obviously playing this quite a bit longer, but what I may end up actually doing is, just for my own sanity, because I did not anticipate still playing this like already, like as of now even, what I may do is just, after we get the achievement and get a few more characters with max regard, even if it's not December yet, I may still just go ahead and like pause the game for a month or two, and then after we're done with Utawara Ramazan, once that releases, then we'll go back to this, which would mean that there'd be a couple weeks or even a month or more that I wouldn't have a Musou to be playing, because I would not want to start another Musou while having this one technically ongoing, even if it is paused. That isn't Utawara Ramona Zan, because Zan was the one that I had planned to do that with to begin with. But I may just do that for my own sanity, which would mean a few weeks of just non-Musou streams, which I feel like would probably be good for my sanity at this point, considering that I have streamed this game for about a month now and have played it off stream for I think over 2 months at this point, for 140 hours, and well, obviously going getting a little bit exhausted of this game. It's not a horrible game if you play it in the amount that it's intended to be played, but when going for 100% completion, this game kind of becomes a nightmare. It is completely dull. There's really nothing of note this game has to offer past the first couple of hours. Going for 100% is entirely an unnecessary grind, and it's not a particularly fun one, but for my own self-imposed goal, I do still need to do it. But after getting that achievement and making a bit more progress toward max regard, I may just put it on the back burner for a tiny bit, just to give myself a break. And also the streams a break, because like I think so far probably 80% of my streams have been this game, which is to be expected. It is the like whole reason why I started was to give myself something to distract myself from while playing this game. But it also is kind of a case of like, I do want to primarily stream musous, but I don't primarily want to stream this particular game. Because when I started streaming, at that point, like the first few days of this, it wasn't until like a week in that I really realized that this was going to be like a 300-hour total game as opposed to like a 150-hour game. Oh, hi Liz! Hello! Nice emote. How are you doing? I'm just playing Warriors All-Stars. The game I hate, but need to 100% before December. Hope your weekend and also morning has been well. Let's see. I wasn't actually 100% sure if I had equipped Rio with her optimal card, but it seems like I did, so that's good. I'm gonna pretty much be focusing on trying to basically speedrun. Basically speedrun to the battle I need, since I'm literally just going for the question marked battles right now. Not quite regard. Regard's kind of taking a backseat in priority for the moment, so I think I am going to pretty much speed to the end of that. Benevolent Princess, that's the next one I need. Okay, there's Cosme. Yeah, all of what we need to set up is already here, so that's nice. Be slightly simpler. Oh my god, there are a ton of characters that become available right away here. Let's see, nobody else to go for. been quite a while since I've actually done this particular hero battle, so not actually 100% sure how it is that I get to the central base, but I'm gonna assume it has something to do with capturing both of these side bases, or maybe just walking up to it. I may literally just have to walk up to the door and it'll open. There are a few stages like that, as dumb as it is to even have a door in those situations.
とぼけても無駄よ。その手は食わない。間違いないね。リオさんが世界一のディーラーだ。
No doubt about it. You're the best dealer in the world, Rio. I think she's the only one in this one. I think she may be the only person who knows what poker is in this universe. Aside from the other people that also got taken from their worlds, but even then, I'm not sure if anyone else does either. Maybe Ryu Hayabusa. Maybe he knows about poker. Maybe he's played it a couple times. I love sitting here in circles, waiting for the dialogue to finish. My favorite part of the game. Okay, I guess I have to go down here, bottom left. At the very least, getting this particular battle I'm working toward shouldn't be too long of a process to get to. I just have to get Kasumi, Agrena, and then like 2 more battles, and then it should unlock, so hopefully it won't be too long of a process to get to that one. Then I can just rush to the closest ending and then be done. Oh, also, just to make this go slightly faster, I had been playing on hard difficulty, but I swapped to easy difficulty just to make this particular part of the game go by faster. I do plan to swap back once we're doing regard grinding, since it doesn't really matter how quickly I finish individual stages for that one, it's more about how many hero skill usages I get off. But for this particular grind, it's a lot better if I can just finish the stages as quickly as possible. Although, I'm gonna be honest, even though I am playing in easy difficulty now, I have noticed absolutely no difference in like enemy health, enemy damage output, how long it takes to actually kill any enemies. There's almost no difference. Like, I'm sure there is some difference, of course, otherwise there wouldn't even be difficulty options, but it's minor enough that I have not noticed it even slightly, which I haven't had it on easy difficulty for too long, probably about 3 or 4 in-game playtime hours, but still, the enemies die extremely quickly on hard difficulty, and they still die extremely quickly on easy. Very hard to notice. Maybe it's because I'm max level and I'm playing on like my 5th New Game Plus run, but... Or not 5th, fucking 50th. Way past the 5th one by this point. But maybe that's why. But I've not noticed any actual difference in how difficult the game really is. Ally generals are still just as weak as well, so they seem to die equally quickly as in the harder difficulties. So not even that seems to be easier. It's just exactly the same feeling.
でもその心に嘘はないと思う。だから一緒に行かせてもらうわ。わかった。
Had to hydrate yet again. Why does Setsuna get so many characters available right off the bat? I feel like with Shiki and Tamaki, both of their routes feel like they have like maybe 3 characters at the beginning. Yet Setsuna has like 6.
裁きの時は来た。
That guy's dead. Rip Bozo.
あとはもう落ちるだけよ。また人間たちが運命に引き寄せられた。落ちなさい。今すぐ。裁きの時は来た。あの魔女さん、やる気満々だね。どうせ話を聞いてくれるだろうか。
I do remember this being one of the relatively shorter hero battles, so hopefully we'll be done with this one quite quickly. Then we can move on to the next battle, and after that I think it will only be 2 or 3 more until we reach the one we're looking for. This is one of the more annoying maps to traverse though, because of all of these traps around here, which basically act exactly the same as arrows in keeps on other maps. So they just stun you. They're actually less annoying than the arrows because, well, the arrows stick around for like 6 whole seconds. These each kind of just appear for a single moment, just for 1 hit. But despite being a major stage hazard, they're actually weaker than common stage hazard in other levels, surprisingly.
うまくいったみたい。
Although, even though I did mention that the stage traps, the main gimmick of this level are kind of not that big of a deal compared to regular battle arrows. I do actually think this is one of my favorite stages. I love the way it looks. It's compact enough to where it's easy to traverse and doesn't take too long to get to each end. But it's also not so tiny that it's just a square. I mean, it is just a series of square rooms, so kind of is just a square, but it makes sense in the context of being a building that's kind of a factory. It's got simple design, but in a way that makes sense. It's thematically fitting, and I also think it still looks pretty nice despite that. It's got a decent amount of elevation as well with these little platforms. It's not just a series of flat square rooms. They at least have a tiny bit of elevation, add a bit of extra pizzazz to it. Something that most other stages don't have, even ones with slightly more interesting map layout at face value. Yeah, as I mentioned, a pretty short stage. We are already at the end of it, because if I remember correctly, after you beat Shiki, just beat Lagrina and then it's over. So, not too hard of one, luckily. One of the shorter and simpler stages in the game. And always, despite being 3 bravery ranks ahead of me, she dies quite quickly. Okay, so we still need to do Bonds of Friendship, which requires Untold Intentions or Benevolent Princess. I think I'm gonna go out of my way to do Benevolent Princess right now, and then I will do the next main required one. I love these stages that have a slight amount I guess non-linearity would be the word at the beginning. You get a bit of freedom to choose who you're gonna go after. Even though I don't see why the hell anyone would ever go to fight the ones at the bottom area, because there are already 3 extremely close to your spawning position, but it's always something that pretty much no other stage in this game has. Yes, this game is so dire that this tiny amount of borderline pointless freedom in a single stage objective impresses me by this game's standards. It truly is that dire of a situation in this game's level design. Incredibly low bar, but this stage does at least clear that bar. So it's impressive for this game, and not when comparing it to any other game in the entire genre. Even the worst games in the musou genre generally have better stage design than this one. I don't think this is a horrible game in every aspect. I've mentioned before that I do like the way the character playstyles are designed, and the crossover aspects are alright. It also doesn't have the worst story mode in the genre, although that's a pretty low bar. Most games have pretty bad story modes. However, it's still something that this game does do decently well in some areas, but in the stage design aspect, wow, this game is possibly the single worst musou I've played. It is bad on every front in terms of stage design. the actual maps themselves, the objectives, the difficulty balancing, it's all complete mess. Like, for example, you know, the stage design, well, you look at the map, it kind of has a bit of an interesting shape, but in terms of actually playing it, it's kind of just this little corridor down here, a small area at the bottom, and then a large open field that's kind of more of a pain than anything at the top. And also, the stage is way too big. Stages in this game range from pretty small to way too fucking large for this game's movement style, because this game doesn't have any kind of like ingrained extra like movement capabilities. There's no horse, there's no like running dash. I mean, there kind of is, because you walk for like half a second before running, but the walk is barely slower than the run. It's not really that much faster. Certain characters will have some minor movement abilities, but not all of them, and Rio is not one of them. Yeah, it takes like a full minute, possibly even two, to walk from the top area to this bottom middle section. It sucks quite a bit. I kinda hate it. It's one of the worst parts of this game, because even just basic traversal is a complete chore. Okay, one more stage down. Just a tiny bit closer to our end goal. Okay, now next would be not quest list, battle rumors, I mean. Next would be Untold Intentions, which I believe is the one to the left. Yeah. After this battle, we can reach the one we need. Making fairly quick progress, surprisingly. I think we've been actually playing the game for probably around 25-30 minutes. So getting this close to the one we need without even really trying to go that fast is pretty good, will not deny. Something I've been planning to do for this game, just as like a one stream thing, probably actually next stream, is I kind of want to submit a speedrun of this game in New Game Plus to speedrun.com, because that website has a speedrun page for this game. The main game has 2 runs ever submitted. However, there's also a New Game Plus category that has 0 runs submitted. Not a single submission on it. Which isn't too surprising, you know. This game isn't the most fun to run in a speedrun setting, I would imagine, in general, let alone in a New Game Plus having to do New Game Plus, but I feel like it would be a fun thing because I know for a fact that some of the runs that I've just played normally, not even going out of my way to be fast, but just playing relatively normally, have been faster than the the current world record on the any percent. Not New Game Plus, but just regular run, which of course that's not New Game Plus, but my point is that, like, if my normal runs have been fast enough to where I could compete on that board, I might as well just fucking send a single recording in as a submission. So it could be just a fun little tiny thing to do. I think I would only ever submit one run. I probably wouldn't go out of my way to try maintaining a world record long time or anything. I don't really give enough of a fuck about this game to do that, but it would be just a fun little one-off thing since this game doesn't even have any submissions in the New Game Plus category specifically. It would be fun to do that, at least a tiny bit. Also, this is yet another stage I have not done in quite a while, so I've kind of forgotten the exact routing on it. Dun, 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 dun. Even if I'm not grinding regard right now, I probably should still use my hero skills on a regular rotation. Probably wouldn't be too bad of an idea. I just kind of keep forgetting to. Dies before he can even finish his dialogue. Yeah, that's how quickly enemies in this game go down. Just a normal light attack string takes out the opponent before they can even get through half of their dialogue tree. It's great. Truly the game with the greatest combat balancing of all time. Yeah. Done with that battle. Now. Already this close to the end, I see.
祠を奪ってどうするつもりだ。
決まってるだろう。泉を復活させて奪われた王位を取り戻せ。
バカなことを。いくつ祠を奪ったとて、お前は王になどなれぬのに。
それどういうこと？
聞くな、ざれ言だ。
刹那では強大な泉の力を操れぬ。それができるのは王たる器を持つのはこの世に玉木だけだ。
I don't ever pay attention to the story in this game, but the cutscenes aren't terrible at least. Much as I don't think this game as a whole is great, that single cutscene is at least alright. And battle is becoming inaccessible because Setsuna's not here. Please tell me that the one I need is at least. Okay, clear bonds of friendship. And this is the last one we need before going into that final question mark stage. If I remember correctly, this is yet another stage that's pretty short, all things considered. I think I literally just have to take out the enemies in the center and then like one more boss spawns. Maybe? I'm not even sure about that. But if I remember correctly, this one does not take very long. I'm very surprised that Naotora has not used she did not use her special attack at any point during that, because that would have set me back slightly, since it does give her effective invincibility. Or I guess immortality would be a bit more accurate. She still takes damage, she just can't go below 1 HP. Yeah, as I mentioned, quite the short stage. I believe I just have to take out Ryu here and then it's done. Like a 4-minute stage maybe. One of the shortest in the game. Which is good in this particular situation. I definitely prefer having a short stage as opposed to a very long one, but and now after this we will have the new stage, the one that's question marked out. That is, I don't know if it's the last one we need total, but it should at the very least be the last one in Setsuna's story.
俺はどうしても玉木を死なせたくなかった。人生に光を与えてくれた大切な家族を。だから叔母上に占ってもらったんだ。俺が王に、いや永遠の王になれる方法を。
刹那が王になるには異界の英雄から力を借りねばならないの。ただし絆がなければ力はなじまずこぼれてしまうけれど、そして永遠の王になるなら三種の神器とともに泉に身を捧げればいい。そうすれば体も魂も朽ちることはない。泉の中で永遠に生きる。そんなのずっと苦しむだけじゃないか。
それこそが俺の願いなんだ。玉木と世界を守り、そして二度と犠牲者を出さずに済む。俺にとってこんな幸せなことはない。これで隠していたことは全て話した。虫のいい話だが、どうか俺を信じてくれ。俺に力を貸してくれ。
大切な人を守りたい気持ちは私にもわかる。でもあなたが犠牲になればきっとあの子は悲しむ。それでもいいの？
覚悟の上だ。
やっと本音をぶつけてくれたね。私たちの力を使って今のあなたになら預けられるから。それでいいよね。
私は元の場所に帰りたいだけだ。私にはやらなければならないことがある。
そうだね。ここにいる誰もが自分のやるべきことを果たしたい。そのためにも力を合わせよう。
ありがとう。ありがとな。ああ。
I feel like almost like 2/3 of the achievements, or not achievements, the cutscenes in this game are just the characters saying, Tamaki and Shiki mean so much to me. We were such great friends through childhood, while simultaneously being like, I hate you during cutscenes involving them. It's like, I feel like it would be much more meaningful if they didn't say it every single cutscene, and also like actually showed anything that actually like conveyed that directly, rather than them just saying, I love them so much. I don't know, this game's story, like, obviously it sucks. It's a musou, it's not exactly surprising. As much as I love this genre, storytelling has never really been its strong suit in most games. There's some that do well, but most don't do great, and especially a crossover game, kind of inevitable. But yeah, this one's pretty bad. And I'm just gonna double check actually to make sure 100% that this is the one we need, and I believe it is. Which, funny thing, this is going to lead into an ending. This is an ending. All of the ones marked as red are. However, this isn't actually counted as an ending for the game itself. So there's an achievement for getting every ending. I haven't gotten this one because, you know, it's questioned out, but I have the achievement for getting all endings, and I don't think it's bugged. There are lists online that I found created by other players, lists of every ending, and I filled out those lists. This is not included in that. This is technically an ending, except it's not actually counted as one by the game itself for whatever reason. Several endings aren't. It's not just this one. I don't understand why exactly, but it's a very odd choice within the design of the achievements. But yeah, the endings I think only account for like the true ending, Tiki's ending, Tetsun's ending, Tamaki's ending, of course, and then like the character-centric like side endings. These kind of like minor endings that aren't really focused on like a specific set of characters, but rather just the roller, but like a worse version of their route. I guess these don't count for whatever reason. Maybe you only need to complete one Setsuna route, one Shiki route, and one Tamaki route, plus the character endings, and then Yomi's true ending, I suppose. That's my best guess for why these don't count, but it is very odd that it's listed as get every ending when it's not actually getting every ending, since these ones don't count toward it.
刹那さんの覚悟は悲しいけれど強い。私が支えてみせる。
Such an odd game with such odd design choices, even down to the achievements. But yeah, I don't think this is the last one we have left. I think there's one as well that I haven't completed in Tamaki's route, I believe. I could be wrong about that, but I think there is. And if so, then, well, we won't get the achievement after this one, but shouldn't be too much longer before we actually get it. At the very least.
刹那の物語は悲しくも美しい。私がフィナーレへと導いてやる。
よく耐えているな、刹那。第二陣、進んでくれ。なめるなよ、シキ。何度でも止めてやる。
強いのね。あなたが味方でよかった。 ディオは世界武装のディーラーです。
尋常に勝負せよ。
玉木ちゃんのために頑張るんだから。ここは私が。やられちゃったよ。リオにお任せ。リオ、その調子で勝利をもたらしなさい。
うまくいったぞ。ここで終わってしまうのか。劣勢こそ真田の真骨頂。いざ参る。 どんな状況でもお姫様は守ってみせる。それが勇者ってもんだ。
I sure do love these missions where there's a timed objective where I just have to wait for the timer to run out. That is really hard to lose. So Setsuna is kind of just down there at the very bottom, just waiting for him to not even die because there are no enemies near him. Oka was near him. I mean, he was, well, he was not quite that close to him, but he was perfectly safe. But she could have reached him, but no, she got killed by an NPC. So yeah, this is just have to wait another 30 seconds of doing basically nothing for this to for the timer to run out. How did he withstand such an attack with no opponents being placed anywhere near him? I wonder how he survived that. That's crazy. I love whenever they act like, oh, it was that new wave of enemies there. That was the strongest we had. How did you survive it? It's like 4 fucking enemy generals that are all like bravery rank 3 and they go down within literal seconds. And that is the end of that stage, which means the end of this run. Again, I don't think that's the last one left. I think there are at least 1 or 2 more stages, but at least we're a bit closer to that achievement. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe this is the last one and it'll pop in just a moment. I would absolutely love that, but I doubt it, unfortunately. I don't think I'm quite that fortunate. Why is this cutscene so much louder than every other part of the game? Why this cutscene in particular? I feel like it's so much louder. I can't turn it down, and it won't be very long, so...
清らなる泉よ、そして神器よ、新たな王が命じる。汝らが誠の力で雨土にあまねく祝福をもたらせ。泉は俺を受け入れてくれた。あなたたちのおかげだ。ありがとう。今こそ恩を返す時だ。頼む、異界への道を開いてくれ。みんながあるべき場所へ戻れるように、なすべきことをなせるように。 俺は永遠に守り続ける。あなたたちが守ってくれたこの世界を。
That's not his weird hands. Human hands combined with animal paws. Very a bit odd. Okay, that was not the last one. The achievement did not appear. So I guess now we just gonna check out Tamaki's route. See if there's one there. Then if not, I'll go back to the main menu, switch to Shiki, see if he has one in his route possibly. And we'll just keep doing that until we find a single question mark one. Although I did make the spreadsheet for marking off those. I have not been updating it this stream so far. I should probably go back and do that. I feel like I can maybe find the last few stages without it though. Because pausing the game to mark that off after every stage does get a little bit tedious. Just a tiny bit. I don't know why Zhao Yun's route in particular starts with so many cutscenes at the very beginning. Okay, any here? No question marks here, so that should hopefully mean that Tamaki's route is completed. I don't believe that, but it is. It should be. Dramatic battles, these are both question marked out. I know I've completed both of these. I recognize this one. I recognize this one as well, so I know I've done them. I'm fairly certain I've done every dramatic battle. I don't know why exclusively those are marked off, are marked as question marks. So, back to the main menu, and into a different route. Okay, well, I guess it auto-saved. I'll have to manually check the next one. I have to go through all of these. So fucking many. Don't care, let me just move on. Okay, load game. Okay, now. Leave Nobunaga is part of Shiki's route, if I remember correctly. He may actually be Satuna's route, but I'm not 100% certain.
物よりよっぽど恐ろしい。逃げるぞ。ありがとうございます。なんとお礼を言ったらよいか。わしに従えば首はつないでおいてやろう。うわ殺される。逃げろ。またしても逃げおって。
ここは
Nobunaga has a nice hiss.
それに
Such a nice sound.
ここは
え
どこ？私
I
は
like the idea of the voice actor for him just in the booth, fucking trying to make a cat hiss and just making that loud sound.
誰に物を言っている？さばいてあげるわ。今すぐに。裁きの時は来た。猫が魔人の娘に勝てると思うの？
たわけ。わしこそ第六天魔王。小娘にはやられるわ。
少しはやるように。気を疑って仕留めよう。
娘、この信長の友をせよ。断るな。力ずくで参るぞ。
私の邪魔をするの？なら殺さないと。それが役目なら猫が立っている。よかる。どうすれば。
Okay, now at sea. Oh wait, no, okay, never mind. Use Satsuma's route. I thought Nobunaga was Shiki's, but I misremembered. Wow, still gives an opportunity to at least check if Satsuna has any more, which I don't think he does, but... Rumors... None question marked here. Okay, time to do that again with a different character. Oh, it literally says at the bottom right, notice that. Probably should have noticed that. You know what? In that case, I'll choose Ryu Hayabusa. He should. If he doesn't have any, then I can at the very least just say, fuck it, I'm gonna go into regard grinding for a little bit instead. I may have to go down the true ending route to do Yomi's route.
Hello? You're a ninja like Hanzo. I could not ask for better than that.
見て、私たちの他に誰かいる。
自己紹介がまだだったか。俺は竜はやぶさ。彼女は綾音という。
I am William. I was supposed to be in a place called Japan.
どうやら3人ともいきなりここに連れてこられたようね。あなたたちは人間？なら狩らなければ。
I love waiting around in circles for minutes at a time. So fun. It's my favorite part of this game's story mode.
なぜ私たちを襲うの？なぜ？それが私の役目だから。
I wish I could turn off the dialogue entirely. There is a way to turn off subtitles, so those won't appear, but that I don't exactly want those gone. I want the dialogue as a whole to just be gone. But unfortunately, as far as I'm aware, that is not an option.
ねえねえ竜様
Okay, let's see. Does Yuki's round have any? And the answer is no. No question marks here. Okay, so in that case, I guess what I should probably do is just focus on getting to the true ending route. That way I get all of my characters back and just swap back to focusing entirely on regard grinding. I do need to get that achievement, but I have absolutely no clue what stages I have, so... I am, however, going to take a quick BRB. I already burned through all of my water. And also, I want to stretch for a moment a bit more. So, BRB in just a couple moments. It won't be a very long one. I just need to get water and stretch for a moment. But, yeah. See you all again in just a moment, and then we'll get back to whatever the fuck we're doing in this game. I'm not even sure right now. Yeah, be back in 2 or 3 minutes. Okay, and I am back. Time to get back into this terrible game. Okay, so I think what I'm going to do is just mark off everything. Mark off everything that I have to do. Gonna go back to fairly thoroughly keeping up with the spreadsheet, because in Shiki's route there's not that many left. I think it's literally just the endings actually. So, and I'm pretty sure I've gotten all of those, but I'm not gonna mark them off just in case. So I think I'm gonna go into Yomi's Tale instead and work toward that. So time to make an effort to try getting to the true route. Shouldn't be too hard. It's not actually very difficult at all to reach the true ending route, but okay. Which means that since I am just going to that route, I am also once again going to be trying to play as quickly as possible, prioritizing speed over regard for the moment.
英雄を呼ぶ儀式だ。玉木の力が暴走した。それで彼らも別の世界から迷い込んだんだろう。超支流、参る。
Once I've gotten onto Yomi's path, I may end the stream. May make it a bit of a short one, mostly just because of the fact that I am very exhausted of this game, to the point of playing it in sessions that are longer than an hour or two. Do get a bit do start making me go a bit insane. I may actually swap games. Maybe, and go for another like hour or so possibly, but not 100% sure. I at the very least do not want to be playing this game for like 4 hours anymore. Even though I really should put as much time into this as possible per session. I think at this point, I think I'm exhausted enough of this game from playing it so much that putting in long sessions is a lot harder than it was a couple weeks ago. Even when I am playing a character I do actually like, such as Ryu. Running straight to the opponent. I do not want to be in this stage more than necessary, because I have done all of these several times. Not only am I repeating randomized stages that are similar, I'm repeating even the story stages that are the exact same over and over at this point. All to get that one achievement eventually and fill out the spreadsheet fully. Did not expect this to be the thing that took me several streams, by the way. I thought I knew which ones I had left, but I guess not. What a great game. Okay.
英雄様。
ねえ、あなた無限。
Dun, 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 dun. Hey, now let's see. Did any more open up here? Okay. Nope. You know what? Actually, I think even though I'm already slightly into this, I think I am just going to restart Atomic Hero because I'm fairly certain that whatever stage you're missing is in Atomic Hero. I'm fairly certain. Could be wrong, but that is my best guess because Shiki's, we've done basically all of them for. Yomi's is very straightforward, so I don't think it's one of those. I've gotten all of the character endings, all of the opening battles. The only one that I think it could be is Atomic stage. So, gonna try going for one of those. Because I really want to be done with this. That way I can swap to grinding for the regard again instead, since while that one's tedious and hellish, it's at least a tedious grind that I can see a set endpoint toward, that I can make visible, noticeable progress at all moments.
ここはどこなんだ。撃鉄を起こします。
化け物どもめ覚悟しな。
今声が聞こえたような。行ってみよう。
その武器に金眼四つ目の門。お前たちモノノフか。
魂を込める。はい、まさにモノノフであると認めます。ところで彼らは新種の鬼ですか。わからないがずいぶん数が多いな。手早く終わらせたいです。女性の悲鳴か。
Bum, 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 bum.
助けるぞ。
Dun, 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 dun.
このせ
Okay, no unfinished ones are showing up here, but maybe more will open up. Okay, I guess there's no way that okay, whatever. There's identity. Okay, I guess for whatever reason this hero battle is showing as unmarked, which I know I've done this one. I don't remember which one this is, but I know I've done it because I have had every character unlocked several times in each route. So maybe I didn't do it while starting as Oka, which I hope that that's not the reason why. Maybe I did it in the other two characters and not in Tamaki specifically. I have no fucking clue. Either way, I'm going for this one. I don't know if it's actually this one or not, but I'm going for it because this is my best guess for which one is what. So, I need to get the Monster's Identity battle, which requires Wang Yuan Ji, Sophie, and Truth and Memories. And don't clear the Indifferent Prince. Okay. I sure do love this game. It's great. Fucking. Couldn't they just have a list of incomplete stages, like checkable at all times from the main menu, instead of this? But I suppose not. Suppose that's too much to ask for.
儀式を行う前に敵を退けねば。英雄様方、どうか力をお貸しください。邪魔をしないで。ほう、これが異世界の風景か。いいえ、これは英雄様の思念で変化したもの。
You know, actually, I should have probably swapped to a different character than Oka, since she's already maxed now. I probably should have switched to either Horo or Toketsugu.
私が儀式に失敗したばかりで。
I don't particularly love either of their playstyles, but it would be a tiny bit of regard
王位を譲れ。
given to them early.
できないというならここで切る。よし。
節の兄様、お待ちください。私は。
参奪者の言い訳を聞くつもりはない。
Yeah. One down.
モノノフの力だ。
Shiki should spawn sometime soon.
同じモノノフとして
And end of the stage and back on to the next one.
玉木、俺は諦めない。必ずお前を止めて王位を取り戻す。
節の兄様。遅れて到着してすみません。あれ？
Oh yeah, I forgot. It's not Shiki I have to take down, it's now Tora. Please don't use your special. Oh my god, of course she did. Wow, time to wait 30 full seconds before I can fully take her out. I would love to defeat her before Shiki's main unit arrives. Unfortunately, she has an ability that makes it to where she is immortal for a temporary period of time. He's fucking... Yeah, it is so obvious by this point that I am just completely fed up with this game shit. It is so exhausting. I hate to say it, I genuinely had more fun going through the randomized battles regard grinding than I have doing this, going through the story battles. I think the story battles are somehow worse than the individual, like, the individual story battles are somehow worse than the random battles. It's honestly kind of impressive, but... They're just that bad. I would rather play the randomized, like, repetitive stages that are exactly the same over and over than to do these ones. Such a low bar, yet doesn't even clear that. Yeah, you gotta mark it off on the spreadsheet. Okay. I just realized the overlay, the game size is much smaller than it should be, so I'm not sure if I changed that for another game previously and just forgot to swap it back, or if it's just a strange difference between the light and dark overlays. Actually, I'm gonna check that for a second. Okay, yeah, I guess they just had different sizes set. Also, I meant to enter studio mode for that, so ignore that like 1 second frame where the other overlay was visible. That wasn't real. That didn't happen. Just like this game didn't happen.
英雄様
こんにちは。この私
Okay.
玉木
I think that's the one I have to not complete, so... Okay. Any changes to this? Nope. Which means we should have all of these complete. All of these should be done, which means that the only one that would make sense to be incomplete would be this one. So, if this does not pop the achievement, I'm going to be slightly mad, because I don't know what the hell it could be. Because it's not these dramatic battles, these are marked off no matter what. Even if I completed them, as long as it's not in the same New Game Plus rotation, these will be marked as question marks no matter what. But this is the only one that seems to actually be incomplete. So if I do this one and I don't get it, I'm gonna puff and fucking blow the developer's house down. I hate it. I hate it so much. I just wanna get back to the regard grind. I expected this to be a like 1 stream short detour, but no, it's turned into a much bigger commitment. Okay, don't clear in different fronts. Truth and Memories, Wang Yuanji and Sophie. So I can get the 2 characters right now, or well, not quite right now, but after this opens them up. Okay. Yeah, and he still has quite a bit to go, so... Base defense one, this should be luckily a pretty quick stage to get through. Base defense stages in general usually aren't that long to complete, and on this stage especially, it's a fairly small map, not a massive one. Oh my god. Like, that shows up no matter what, whether you're in a story stage or a random stage. If it's the first time you have seen that character in this, like, specific New Game Plus run, that little cutscene will show up, and it is always so fucking obnoxious. It's especially bad when it's a character like Oka or Naotora, because they can potentially use their special attack while you are locked into the cutscene animation, but they're not fully locked. They can use their special and get the invincibility while you can do absolutely nothing about it to counter it. It's so fucking awful. This is another character who's not great to have this happen with, not because of invincibility, but because she can disable my hero skills, and while it's not the worst at this exact moment, it is really bad during times where I am actually doing dedicated hero hero skill regard grinding, because it disables those. I can't use them. And if I can't use them, I can't increase regard. Oh my god, stop locking onto the golden captain. The lock-on priorities in this game are questionable, to say the least, at times. God, fuck off. Okay. That one's done. Now I can go to Wang Yuanji and Sophie.
ようやく休めるな。どんなもんだ。
The sooner I can be done with this and back to the regard grind, the better. Because as much as I hate that one, I hate this grind way more. This kind of just feels like I'm stumbling around in the dark to figure out what the fuck the last one is half the time. At least that one, I know what I'm doing. It's just very unfun while knowing what I'm doing. This is unfun and I have no clue whether I'm near the end or not. This is also one of my least favorite hero battles to do, so can't particularly say I love having to do this one again. Fairly long, has several points where you just have to stand near an ally until eventually their dialogue finishes so you can move on. And also, while taking place on a fairly small map, it does require you to go back and forth across that map quite often. Yeah, I always forget that those spawn up there in the top right, so I always just have to run back immediately. And now I have to chase these guys before they reach the exit, which this is one of the very few stages where I actually do think it is somewhat risky for them actually to, it is actually reasonably possible for them to reach the exit before you can reach them if you're not at the correct portion of the stage once they spawn, because of where it's such a small map. A rare case of it being a small map actually being kind of a bad thing in this one particular case.
急ぐ体勢を立て直し対策を考えましょう。あ、思いついた。よく頑張って来たよ。裏に使わせて止められるかも。出番ですね。使っちゃうよ。これでよしっと。すごい威力です。門まで吹き飛ばすなんて。これで進路を阻むものはなくなりました。
I am glad that at the very least hero skill usages that were done before a cutscene, they'll do like remain after a cutscene, as long as it's not an in-game cutscene but a pre-render. But at least for pre-renders it still happens, so that's good. It's at least something that I otherwise wouldn't have expected out of this game. If I could reach the floor for 0.1 second, I would love to use my musou rush to get out of this. But unfortunately, Oda Nobunaga, one of his abilities is to apply a slowdown effect to you with the darkness debuff. Which in my opinion is honestly probably the most annoying one to deal with when you yourself are hit by it. Hitting the enemies with darkness is kind of useless. Slowing them down isn't too useful. Actually, most status effects in this game aren't really the most useful aside from fire if you're attacking high bravery opponents, but when you're hit by it yourself, definitely a lot worse. Get off one final set of hero skills before the end of the stage. Okay. Next is Wang Yuan Ji, then we focus on the story battles. Oh yeah, it's this one. It's been a little bit since I've done this one. I think it was like 2 streams ago. I hate this one. As I've mentioned in those past streams, this is possibly my least favorite hero battle in the game. So, 2 back-to-back I'm not a big fan of. Although this one's way worse than the last one. Although, since I did swap the easy difficulty, it may keep the chief alive at least slightly longer. Just enough to be a bit less of a pain in the ass. I'm not sure about that, so who knows. Actually, I'm gonna test how well the village chief can survive in easy difficulty. If he can survive any better, and I'm just gonna go away from the village for a moment. If I have to redo the stage, I will be slightly annoyed at that, but at least it is my fault if I do. Since I am going out of my way to avoid the village for this.
火を持っています。村に火をつけないうちに倒しましょう。
やったぜ。
よく呼んでくれてお任せください。来たよ。
This is at least a fairly easy stage to quickly bring up your bravery level. Thanks to the timer that you have to wait down, plus the constant onslaught of enemies at the base. See, already at rank 6, only like 2 minutes into the stage.
敵も村をなかなか落とせず焦っているようです。もう一踏ん張りですね。
Bum, 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 dun, 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 dun. Okay, I should probably go back at least for these last few seconds of the mission, just to make sure they're not in danger. It doesn't look like they are, surprisingly. On higher difficulties, if you leave the village at all, they will die very quickly because they're incredibly weak and dumb. Yeah, it seems like they are actually surviving just fine, which is surprising, but I will not complain about that in the slightest. I absolutely hate this mission, so making it at least a little bit more tolerable on lower difficulties is at least not a problem. Not a bad thing for sure.
お元気様。どうか村とコロー様を救ってください。
いきなり異世界に連れてこられて状況がつかめないま
Oh,
ま
that guy just despawned right in front of my eyes. Okay, cool, I guess.
受けてしまったからには放っておけない。責任を果たさないと。
なんと冷静で聡明で胆力のあるお方だ。よかった。条件は結構満たせているな。フォロー様、ご希望通りの方を見つけました。我らを助けてくれるそうですぞ。
ようやく反撃開始です。村は私に任せて。皆さんは彼女の援護を。
I was sitting here for fucking forever until this particular... I complain a lot about these like objectives that are just rendezvous with this character and then you have to stand next to them for like 30 seconds. I think this mission probably has the worst example of it in the game because if you are not directly next to Wang Yuanji once this finally actually triggers, then it doesn't count. And you have to wait like a full fucking minute from when the rendezvous with Wang Yuanji mission shows up and when it can actually be triggered. Because it doesn't actually activate once that prompt shows up. It's not until like a minute later because they have to finish their dialogue first. It doesn't count if you rendezvous with them before that dialogue prompt ends off, which takes quite a while. It's not a short dialogue section at all.
辺りの敵の相当を手伝って。また新しい敵ね。策を邪魔される。
But I am at least near the end now. Has been one of the least bad attempts I've ever done at this stage. At least that's something good. A rare good thing out of this game. Even if it's only good because the alternative is terrible of spending fucking forever on this particular mission.
料理人並みにはできるけれど
But now I can focus on the story battles to unlock that last hero battle.
一緒に来てくれますね。
That will be nice.
素晴らしい。
Okay. World info, battle rumors, hero battle, this one. Hear the monster's identity and become friends with Zhao Yun. Okay. Yeah, I have to become friends with wait, no. Is that... I believe this is the one for Zhao Yun, so... would be... I'm friends with Fakta. Okay. So... The rightful king. Monster's identity. Memories, which requires rightful king and okay. Just have to do this stage, then become friends with Fakta, and then a few more things open up that will eventually lead into it.
真意が知りたいなら尋ねるしかない。刹那殿のところへ行きましょう。刹那兄様に会うのは嫌い。でもきちんと向き合わないと刹那さんのところへは行かせないわ。
So many of these missions completely blend together. I don't even remember which stage this is right now. every stage that happens on this map all blend together, just like every stage that happens on every map. The game's so incredibly nothing. Such an ass video game.
一つ聞かせて。刹那殿はそんなに多いの欲しいの。滝継ぎ、身の小さな体が頼もしく見えるの。
Luckily, I don't think this one is a particularly long stage. I think I just rushed to Setsuna, take him out, and then... I want to say I think that's it, from my memory. I mean, he is in the main enemy camp, but I don't think Shiki shows up in this one, so... He should be the only required objective, hopefully. Yeah, he's ranked 9, so it should be the final objective. Okay, good. Very short stage. That one only took like probably 2 minutes if I had to guess. So at least that one was quick. Then next we'll have Fakta's battle, which is another one that's not too long, luckily. And of course she spawns in a dark area, so we have to do another random battle in order to actually get to her. Oh great, it's the one where I have to wait 5 minutes. You know, actually I'm leaving this one. I'm doing a different one. I do not want to do one where I have to wait a set 5 minutes no matter what. Those are always the fucking worst ones when I just want to rush. Okay, this one's much faster.
俺の鉛玉聞いたろ
モノノフの魂この槍にて貫かん。よし敵陣に切り込むぞ。精鋭分隊の名にかけてお前を止めてみせる。
And now we can do the actual, real battle we had planned next. And we'll get Pakta, then we can move on. Wait, I'm gonna swap Tokatsugu and Wang Yuanji. I think I do want to play as her instead. She's not a character that's my favorite either, but she is very efficient. So, since I'm going for speed right now, that definitely would be a good thing to have on my side. 'Yeah, she's not my favorite character to play, mostly just because of how simple she is. She's a very mindless character to play as. However, it is undeniable that she has one of the most efficient hits in the entire roster, and it's entirely because of her light attacks. Look at how quickly the KO counter goes up when using these. They do decent damage. They are so fast that they can wipe out entire groups of enemies instantly. The only downside to them is that they don't really stun the opponent at all. They have some of the least stun in the entire roster, but that's not really necessary when you're killing opponents so quickly that they just are gone instantly before they can even do a counter attack. I've often seen tier lists and stuff of this game that put her at the very top, and while I wouldn't say I'd consider her the best character in the game, she's definitely at least like top 5, probably top 3. She is incredibly good. I think the only character off the top of my head that I'd say competes with her is definitely Ryu Hayabusa. Probably just him, to be honest. She's probably the next most efficient character behind him, and the main reason for why I think he kind of edges her out in terms of pure efficiency is because he can take out enemies almost as quickly, but he also has extra movement capabilities that make him much better for actually traversing stages. So I think he's more overall efficient for that specific reason. Movement tech may not sound like that big of a deal in other musos, but for this game, having even a slight bit of extra movement capabilities can absolutely put a lot more into a character's value than just being able to kill enemies quickly. Because what's better than killing enemies quickly is being able to kill enemies quickly and then move on to the next objective even faster. And Ryu can do that. Wang Yuanji can't really. She can kill quickly, and you know, she can clear crowds very quickly, but in terms of specifically movement, she's not particularly amazing. Also, I cannot talk today. This stream I have tripped up on my words so often. I blame the fact that I'm slightly tired, along with the fact that I am really exhausted with this game. Very fed up with its shit. Hey, nice. Setsuna is gone. Do need to update the spreadsheet though, really quickly. One is down, just a couple more to go. Okay, there's that one. Should get us a bit closer to unlocking Zhao Yun. This is another one that I don't particularly love. Not because of the stage itself, it's not actually that bad. It's just that I have done this so many times because it's required for so many specific stages, hero battles, endings. I think it's even required for getting the true ending route. That you have to do it quite a number of times. It gets very exhausting. But on the other hand, while that is the case, and I do hate this stage, I also kind of know it like the back of my hand. I can do it fairly quickly now. Much faster than most other stages. I'm gonna pick this up really quickly. Okay, time to capture these two bases really quickly. Couldn't take too long. Wang Yuanji is very good at capturing bases because of how fast her light attacks are. Probably the best in the game at crowd clearing, which means she is also equally the best at capturing bases while inside them. Obviously, as I mentioned, her traversal techniques aren't quite as amazing, so actually getting to those bases may take a few moments, but once she's in them, she can capture them insanely fast. think one of the worst parts about this game, and it's something that's not too surprising, but a terrible stream game primarily because I have absolutely nothing to talk about. So even though I am largely streaming this game for the purpose of distracting myself from the tedium, there's so little to talk about in the game itself that I don't really have anything to talk about to distract myself with. It is such a nothing game that I really have nothing to say aside from just repeating points I've made in the past. Which, I mean, I can do that. You'll have to do that. If it will pad out my words for this game, then I suppose I'm okay with it, but still not my favorite thing to do. Wouldn't be necessary if this game was just a slight bit more interesting. Fortunately, it's not. This is one of the most boring games I've played. I really hope this last hero battle I'm going after, I really hope that it does actually end up being the last one I need for the achievement. Because as soon as I'm done with that, I can move on to regard grinding again. Although I'll honestly probably take a break from this game for like a week or so, as soon as I get that last achievement. Stream some other games that are a bit more actually fun and interesting to watch, and also just give myself a break from this. This game is not the most enjoyable to play in long sessions. Okay, nice. There's Xiaoyun. Wait, no, you're already maxed, never mind. Oh, the catnip in this land belongs to us. Does this world even have catnip? I mean, I suppose so, but that's really his main motivation for any of this. He just wants catnip. I mean, I suppose it makes sense. Nobunaga, instead of wanting the unification of Japan, no, he wants as much catnip as he can get his hands on. Or paws, I suppose. Had to hydrate a bit while that cutscene was playing. I think after this game, and after Zon, hopefully Utawara Ramona Zon will be a much faster game to complete, but I think after that game and this one, I think I'll probably do a mainline Dynasty Warriors or Samurai Warriors game, or maybe even Musou Orochi, or Warriors Orochi. Probably one of those. Yeah, I think I want to go back to a classic Musou rather than a modern one. And plus, I want to play one that I know is at least somewhat good, as opposed to this one, which has been one of the most miserable video game experiences I've ever had. I think I'd like to enjoy myself at least a little bit, which I do think I'll enjoy Utawara Haramono Zon, but I don't think it'll be like the greatest game of all time. Just a pretty satisfactory Musou. Oh, I completely forgot that the exit is up there, not down here. As I mentioned before, a lot of these stages kind of blend together in my mind. So I went to the wrong exit, thinking it was a different stage. Oopsies, my bad. It's a pretty big time loss, especially in a stage this large. Not my finest moment. This catnip can be made into a powerful cure-all. The cure to all diseases is catnip. Who would have guessed? I am the true Dynasty Warrior. Yeah, you definitely are, Wang Yuanji. Definitely are. At least in this game. Because the other Dynasty Warriors characters, Zhao Yun is pretty good. Wu Bu, I've mentioned before, is probably my least favorite character in the game. Probably the worst one in the roster. And Zhou King is alright. So she really is the Dynasty Warrior, at least of this game's roster. Okay, let's see. Monster's identity requires... Okay, so I just have to do truth and memories, and then this one should unlock. That will be nice. Actually, I'm gonna... Actually, no. I'll do it in a moment. Where is that base commander? There you are. Now die.
敵が落ち着く前に素早く制圧します。いい流れね。上々の戦略。クラフター、もっと積極的に敵にぶつかるべきです。記憶を取り戻したいのでしょう。いえ、衝撃で記憶は取り戻せないかと。私の場合、錬金術のレシピを本に書き込めば少し戻りますが。なるほど、面白いですね。しかし私には当てはまりそうにありません。いい流れね。
これ以上は危険だ。一時撤退する。
If I remember correctly, yeah, Yukimura spawns down there. And I believe I have to go to the top right area for the final required mission. Oh well, actually never mind, I'm mixing this up with a different one. I have to take out the messengers, and then I believe the final stage objective should spawn. You would think that by this point I would have every one of these missions memorized after doing them so many times, but they're so uninteresting and similar and repetitive that I do have them kind of memorized. It's just that they blend together in my mind, so I'll mix up objectives from this stage with objectives in other stages. Yeah, now Tara should spawn at the very top. Yeah, up here. And then that should lead into the end of the stage. And of course she pulls off her special. Very fun. Now I pretty much just have to wail on her until it eventually goes away. Which could be... Okay, well the effect on her health bar went away, but it seems like it's still there, so... I guess that's a bug. Okay, finally. Wait, no, never mind, she's not dead. That bravery up happened because of her dying. Okay, finally! I hate fighting her and Oka so much. Okay. Now to see what the hero battle is that I somehow did not complete before now. And hopefully, maybe I'll get the achievement. Probably not, but can only hope. Okay, gotta make sure I don't. I almost clicked the wrong one there, because you have to manually skip through these, you can't just skip normally. And it, for whatever reason, default to... it just defaults to the one that accepts it. And had I accepted that, I would not be able to move on to the one that I actually need. Monster's identity, this one, okay. get another stage that I don't remember the exact objective to very well, so. Bum, bum, bum.
いい流れね
Da, da,
見覚えのある景色ですね
da, da, da,
宮
da.
城の領域に酷似していると認めます いい流れね
Now time to go take out the guy that I should be regard grinding right now, if not for this one achievement.
本気で玉木を妹を撃つつもりなのか
それと魔物というのは何
答える必要はない前に横島の存在を口に出すな
私にやられたいの
巻き込まれたくなければ
横島の存在魔物のことか
いい流れね
化け物が来るとは騒ぎすぎたか俺としたことが貴様たちのことを式に伝えておこう化け物が現れたのはここか討伐を開始する
あの人化け物退治
Gonna take out the Razor Talon, then,
すれば話を聞いて
if I remember correctly, some stuff spawns at the bottom of the map,
そうね
and then that should be close to the end.
壊れたらよろしくない
I don't even remember.
それより先に化け物が
This shit is so forgettable.
そうすれば疑われることもないはず
化け物たちを倒してくれたのかレオイエ
すみませんちょっとお話がしたいんですけど
観光令に敷かれているんだすまん
お味方がことごとく退けられたようです綾音殿油断されぬよ
分かってるわ
Yeah, and this should be the end of the stage, after I take out these two.
対象らしき二人も出てきたな戦意を削ぐため二手に分かれて同時に撃破しよう私が出る
私たちの知らない真実がきっとあるそれ
I just run after Ayane. She's not too hard to catch up to, but there is a minor risk of her actually escaping, especially if you're playing as a character like this one, who doesn't have a ton of extra movement capabilities. Okay. And that is the end of this stage. Now, after this, the hero battle that is question marked out should appear, and if it is one that I know I've done before, I'm going to be so fucking mad. Because it shouldn't be, you know, it's question marked out, but knowing this game and the way it tracks all of this stuff, it's not exactly very good at it. So, okay, I assume Lubu is the one that I have not done before, which I guess maybe I haven't. I thought I had. I thought I'd complete all of them, but I guess maybe all of the times that I've had Olubu on my team in the past, maybe those were times when I just started with Zhao Yun and got him automatically, or was in the true route, so I guess it definitely is possible. But hopefully this is the last one. If this isn't, I'm gonna be mad. Gonna be so upset, because fucking I've been at this for 2 hours of this stream. Last stream, the stream before, or well, not last stream, because last stream was Castlevania, but last Warriors All-Star stream.
上々の戦果ね
今こそ裁きの時だ
You know, really, since I just want to finish this stage as quickly as possible to unlock Ulubu's, probably just stand here. So, guess I have like 2.5 minutes to just do nothing. So, how is everyone in chat doing? And by everyone, I mean literally nobody, but, you know, how's everything going? Clearly not going the best for me. I do not like this game. Okay, I need to at least clear out these people so I can breathe for 2 seconds. Not have to deal with them constantly surrounding me. This should be a good spot. But yeah, guess this is a good time to mark off what I have done on the spreadsheet. Very, very, very entertaining part of the game. I know. Incredibly fun. Incredibly fun way to play. Had to yawn a little bit. I am the true dynasty warrior. Yeah, you say that a lot. You say that a lot when you're on G. I mean, I guess it is true though. She can brag about it if it's correct. Okay, finally. Okay, Ulubu should be available now. Good. Very nice. I'm fairly certain I have done this before. I'm like 90% certain I've done it at least once before. But according to the checklist, the in-game checklist, that is usually very inaccurate, and so this is probably wrong. I am pretty sure I've done this before, but the game says I haven't. So hopefully the game is not wrong for once. And if the achievement doesn't pop afterwards, I'm going to make the assumption that I have done it before and it's just wrong. Because this does feel very familiar. The starting position. Okay, that cutscene's not familiar at the very least. Maybe there's another stage on the same map with the same starting position with similar objectives, and maybe I'm thinking of that one. Cause that cutscene didn't look familiar. Ignore the fact that I normally skip every cutscene, but you know in a vacuum, it technically does not look familiar, so who knows, could be it.
あの方を拠点に誘導し弓兵に攻撃してもらえば体力を奪えるでしょうか。
Okay, maybe I haven't done this one before, because I do not remember an objective that was to lure Lubu to another place. So maybe this one is new. I don't entirely remember this one.
恐れられていた存在、
Hopefully.
見ることになるなんて
God, I really hope that
ご冗
this
談
does end up actually being the last one I need. Whether it will be, probably not. There's gotta be at least one more, I'm sure, to make me miserable during, probably in Yomi's route, but if I am lucky, then hopefully this will be the end. Wait, am I supposed to lure Lubu or the archers? Okay, I guess I'm supposed to lure the archers over there, despite the fact that the dialogue said that I had to lure Lubu, but whatever. I'll just follow the fucking in-game objectives. I don't, the dialogue can mislead all at once, I suppose, but I guess this is what I'm actually supposed to do. Okay, I assume this is where I'm supposed to lure them. Over here.
弓兵部隊の準備が完了したようです。これでどうにかできるといいのですが。
Well, I just took him out on my own, so I guess I didn't even need to do that.
雑魚の相手ばかりで退屈していたところだ。これからはお前たちが俺の相手をしろ。
はい。これで良かったのですよね。
Oh my fucking god, finally. That was it. That was the one that unlocked it. Okay, good. That achievement is complete now. We no longer have to worry about this. Which means we can just go straight toward the true ending route again to unlock every character. And then we'll be there. Which means I do still have to do a bit more to actually get to that point. But I'm gonna do that off stream. Since that did unlock the achievement that I needed, I suppose that's going to be the end of this session, because, well, actually no, I'm gonna really quickly turn the difficulty back up to hard. But finally we fucking got that shit. I guess I hadn't done that one before. I guess every time I'd had Lubu in the past was either through the true ending route or through starting with Zhao Yun. So I guess it was true that we did not do that one prior, so I am so glad to finally be done with this, with that achievement. Not done with the game, of course. We still have, where the fuck is it? Events. Still have all of this, but, you know, that's at least the theme achievement completion out of the way. I think what I'm going to do is take a short break from this game. The next couple streams, I do plan to stream probably on Monday. Today's Monday. But I think on Wednesday and Friday, I'll probably stream then, and I am not streaming Warriors All Stars. I need a break. Not a long break. It's not gonna be too long, but I am so exhausted of this game. Exhausted to an indescribable degree. I need a break, at least a 1 week break, maybe even a 2 week break. Then we'll get back to the regard grinding, and then hopefully Utora Rumono-zan will release in December, and we'll get another break from it. Because I am so fucking exhausted of this game. Played it for almost every stream that I've done in the last month. Even off stream, I've put a bit of time into it. It is a very exhausting game to play for 100%, especially all of this in one go. So, gonna end the stream off here. It was a very successful one though. I was worried that we would not get it, and I would have to be very upset even after stream, but nope, we got it. You know, of course, that's not the end of the game as a whole, but that is at least the end of the Steam achievement, so we can focus entirely on regard grinding now. But yeah, that was a quite exhausting game to play, or quite exhausting achievement to go for in this game. So, gonna take a bit of a break. Next stream probably will be a Castlevania game. I do feel the itch to play one of those games again. The last stream where we played Castlevania 1 was probably my favorite stream we've done so far in terms of the game specifically. It was very fun. So I'd like to play another one. Friday's stream, or whenever the third one happens, that stream will not be Warriors All Stars. I don't know if it will be Castlevania or something else. Really, it depends on how I feel at the moment, but for now, we are done with Warriors All Stars for like a week. Next week we'll come back to it, but for this specific week, I think we're taking a break. I am very exhausted of this game. Not a super long stream, but a very successful one. So yeah. Yeah, next. See you next time, everyone. Likely a Castlevania stream, and we are now done with the achievements. We do have in-game completion requirements to go, but at the very least, the Steam achievements are done. Never have to play this again. Well, never have to go for that achievement again, which means I can focus on a true ending route, New Game Plus, playthrough, save file with all characters unlocked for quite a while. We will not have to do another New Game Plus run for quite a while, at least until we've went through every quest, which I don't think we're even gonna go for, so yeah, won't have to worry about that for a while. But yeah, it was a good stream despite me being pissed off most of it because I don't like this game anymore. But in terms of progress we've made, this was very successful. I'm very happy that we did actually get it done this stream and did not have to drag it on even longer. But yeah, good stream. Have a nice day, everyone. I'm sure I will now that I've got the satisfaction of completing that out of the way. So bye bye. See you all next time.